I know, flat Earth, one of the most controversial theories of all time. And I'm gonna be honest, I've never even looked into it because there's such a stigma around it.
We're going to talk about the flat earthers.
What is a flat Earth society, by the way?
People believe the Earth is flat.
Still?
Yeah.
That was a joke about the world being flat, right?
Was it?
But I wanted to try something different and come up with a new segment for these conspiracy videos. I want to talk to somebody who believes in a crazy conspiracy theory, and they have to try to convince me to believe in it too. So I went to the biggest conspiracy theorist I know, my brother. Okay, I am here with my brother Jared, who might be an even bigger conspiracy theorist than me.
If that's even possible. But I'm trying.
So I want to talk to you about the flat earth theory because it's something that you've kind of touched on and I always kind of like move on because I've heard it's so crazy.
It is very crazy. In order for you to even start to take it seriously, you have to put yourself in the mind frame of people that believe in the flat earth. And why would they even want to believe in the flat earth?
Well, you're saying they, so you don't believe it?
I'm open to the idea. I don't know. For me, at least, it's hard for me to pinpoint what I believe. So I'm open to both.
Same.
What?
You sound like a bisexual thing. Okay.
Oh. You know, I'm down for the flat earth, but that round earth got me too.
Okay.
I'm a weekend flat earther.
Okay, so we have to be in the mindset, right?
Yeah, so you gotta be in the mindset. So you have to think about the foundation of it. All the information that we get about the Earth, about space, the moon, and all these things comes from NASA. Every picture that you've ever seen is given to you by NASA. So NASA is also associated with the moon landing being a hoax.
One small step for man.
They are some of the most famous images in history. But why are there no stars in the night sky? Why is the American flag waving here when there was no air to cause any breeze?
There are moments where the crosshairs lie behind equipment.
Where guys fall forward and looks like they get yanked up by wires.
Reflected in the visor is a mysterious object.
I'm sure that's something that everyone at this point has heard of, right? All the pictures that they take of the Earth are composite images, so no images that we see are actually ever a camera from real far away looking at the Earth.
Wait, what do you mean?
They're all composite images because they can't just get it all in one shot, so they have to go around the Earth and take a bunch of pictures and then they piece it together.
International Space Station residents only see about 3% of Earth's surface at any one time.
If you zoom in on them, there's cloud formations that repeat several times, which how could that ever really happen? They're just copying and pasting things.
There's a small problem with it because there's a very slight gap in between each orbit. It is photoshopped, but it's has to be.
That's one thing that builds distrust, because you have to have distrust of who's giving you your information to feel like maybe the flat Earth is feasible, right?
It is photoshopped, but it's has to be.
Well, and even the moon landing is one of those things where, like, maybe 20 years ago, everybody thought, oh, that's stupid, that's crazy. But now, I feel like kind of everybody's down for the moon landing being fake.
I mean, they say all the footage of the original moon landing was lost.
You know what they think happened to the original moon tapes? Is they might have been taped over. It's not a cassette, it's not an old mixtape from college.
We've been unable to track it down.
And as I said, even if we had it, we don't have the machines to play it back.
It's incredible that we can keep track of Egyptian pots from 2,000 years ago, but we lose tapes made only 40 years ago.
So we lose all the footage, and all the technology was destroyed.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology.
And then, if you take science into consideration, science only works if you have one magical event that no one has to actually have proof for. Everything stems from the Big Bang Theory. Something the size of a pinhead, two atoms connecting, blowing up, and creating everything that's in this universe.
In a millionth of 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 a second, it went from a size smaller than an atom to bigger than a galaxy.
Right, and then Einstein thought of the theory of gravity, which is just a theory. You have the Big Bang Theory, the theory of gravity. So now we have a disbelief for these things. The last thing that you have to think about is religion. So in the Bible, it talks about the sea, there's the sky, there's the firmament. What the firmament is a dome.
It says that in the Bible.
Yeah, there's a firmament, so the dome shaped, the heavens are above it, and then it talks about how the earth expands to its four corners. So that also would make you feel like there could be a flat shape to it.
Okay, so really quick, give us a breakdown. What is the flat earth theory and why does it exist?
So the flat earth theory is that we are not on a ball, we're not on a sphere. We're on something that's flat. A flat plane, a planet, right, is just the word plane with a T. And Antarctica, which is in the very south, is an ice wall that's around all of the continents. So instead of us being able to go around the world, it's all enclosed by Antarctica's ice wall. So the United Nations map is actually the flat earth map model. They have actual borders around this, and then you see all the continents spread out. So if this was a globe, they spread it out like this. So that's the model that they believe in. There's an Arctic ice wall around it. And one reason this gets perpetuated and people think it's valid to think Antarctica is the barrier is because in the late 50s, there was a treaty signed by almost all the major countries of power to not let anybody go into Antarctica. So if you try to get close to Antarctica, they're gonna tell you, get the hell out of here. You could go on little explorations of it, but nothing without a bunch of people monitoring you, right? And planes don't fly over it. All flight patterns take you away from Antarctica. No one's flying directly over it. They always take a weird route. Like there was an airplane that was going from the Philippines to Los Angeles, which should be a straight route, Philippines to Los Angeles. Mid-flight, a woman, her water broke. So they had to make emergency landing. They could have either just turned around or kept going to Los Angeles. Somehow they ended up in Alaska. So the flight plan to get them from Philippines to Alaska, if you put it on the flat earth map, it's a straight line from the Philippines to Alaska. But when you put it on a globe, it makes no sense, right? So there's like, let me break some stuff down. The world that we live in. Let's really analyze this. We live in a world that is all based on material things. Materialism really is what controls the country. Money, really it's about sex, it's about objects.
This is my shoe closet.
And see, it is my closet. Everything here be designer, Gucci, Louis, Versace.
It's about egos and how people feel about themselves. All marketing is based off of fears and compulsions to make us be driven to want to do things, right? So our whole life is filled with billboards and advertisements and commercials, and it keeps us very occupied on that surface level of life, right? And it makes it easier to control you. You know, music is a huge influence on the culture. You know, we had gangster rap 20 years ago.
Rock you in your face, stab your brain with your nose bone. When I'm called off, I got a sawed off. Squeeze the trigger and bodies are hauled off.
And then all of a sudden the prison system started filling up even faster. You have nowadays with people rapping about Xanax and opiates.
Xanax gone fake, yeah. Designer shoes is an extent. Popping on X, popping on X, popping on X pills.
So obviously the kids now are putting themselves into a deeper slumper. Like they want to dumb us down and just make us robotic, you know, just to make us feel like just pawns in a chess game. Think about like marijuana. We live in a world where there's a seed that if you put it in dirt in front of your house, you could possibly go to jail.
Arrested for selling brownies laced with pot, Jacob Avoro now faces a possible life sentence.
You were sentenced to life without parole for possession of marijuana?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
They don't allow you to do psychedelic drugs. They make you feel like those are the devil and those are evil. But things like alcohol are legal. Prescription drugs are legal. You know, things that are really killing people. So they want to suppress us.
Well, you think weed and like mushrooms and stuff, you think for the most part all that's illegal because why?
Because things like weed or things like mushrooms, they expand your mind and they really put you into the universe and it puts you into perspective of what life is all about. For instance, there's a drug DMT. 90% of people that smoke this drug, when they first